It's time now for County-Wide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Brad Miller as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives here in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's County-Wide.
Welcome to County-Wide. I'm Paul David. Great to have you in studio with us today. With us is Director of Yavapai Silent Witness, Steve Skirja. We're going to be talking about Catch-22. The next phase is getting ready to start. Very successful program, and welcome to studio again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Always good to see you. Let's give you the phone number real quick, 1-800-932-3232. That's the phone number to keep handy on your fridge as you're listening to the radio or reading the newspaper over the next, from June 1st to June 22nd. And then there's YavapaiSW.com.
Correct. That's our website, and every one of our Catch-22 felons will be featured on there each day as they come up.
Right, one each day for 22 days.
Exactly.
I always like the program because we've got some bad guys out there that have managed to, I guess, slip away from us, and we're looking for them.
And you know, not only do they slipped away, some of them still live amongst us.
Right.
But they're just kind of under the radar. And whenever we advertise one of these and the neighbor sees their photograph, not knowing that they were wanted prior to seeing that photograph, they pick up the phone and call us. The neat thing about the program is that, this thing started back in 1997.
Wow.
What we wanted to do, when I say we, I mean myself and the Silent Witness Board of Directors, we wanted to be able to get more bad guys out to the public with photographs and a bio, and let people know that these folks are out there, that they're wanted. Family members have called in, neighbors have called in, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, people like this have called in over the years and given us information to make arrests. We knew that would be the case. And so that's why we started this program back 17 years ago when we did. We called it Catch-22 because everybody knows the phrase Catch-22.
Right.
So we wanted to play off that. We're going to advertise 22 felons, one each day for 22 consecutive days. But we also wanted to make it worthwhile for our callers. So we decided that we would make each felon worth at least $500. So $500 reward on the head of every one of these. When I say at least, there are some cases where we have already advertised maybe $1,000 reward for this individual, and we're not going to change that. So when they come up as a part of Catch-22, we're going to leave that $1,000 reward available. We're not going to reduce it down to $500. But in saying that, everybody's worth at least $500 in this program.
Pretty nice.
The neat thing about it is we don't have to go to the monthly meeting and bring this up for a vote. We've already voted. We make an arrest, say for instance on June the 1st, we advertise the first person. And in this case, it's an individual that lives up in the Ash Fork area. His name is Jason Niedermeyer. If somebody calls us about Jason and he's picked up that afternoon, we'll pay the $500 reward that same day. We've already voted on it. It's already a done deal. So
people are probably kind of skeptical, though. I would think the people calling might be skeptical about the whole thing.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Especially because it's been going on for 17 years. It's proven. I know people that have called that said, you know, I'm excited about Catch-22. Whenever I know it's coming up, and it comes up twice a year, we try to do 2 phases each year, one in the spring and one always in December.
Right around Christmas.
You know, we're looking at the newspaper. We're going to the website. We're listening to the radio because we may know this person, and we're going to pick up the phone and call. The neat thing about Yavapai Silent Witness, Paul, is that people have come to trust it. You know, we've been around for 33 years. And we're going to take care of our callers. We don't have caller ID. We don't try to trace calls or anything else. And it's just a proven program.
It's just me calling you saying, hey, I think I know where so-and-so is.
Exactly.
And this is the last address I knew him to be at.
Exactly.
And so, okay, so I've done that. You go out, and sure enough, the information was good. The felon's been captured. How does the reward process work then after that? I don't know if we really get into that too often. How do I claim my reward?
Again, it's very simple. The law enforcement has nothing to do with paying their reward. What will happen is when a caller calls in, they get a control number, and that's their identifier to silent witness. Okay, that's their name. So they don't have to give us their name, in which everybody knows it's an anonymous program. So we give them a number, 1234. Okay, and that now is their identifier in the program forever, as long as they remember that. So what they need to do is they either will call us back and ask for updates every few days, every couple weeks, or they'll just listen to the news. If they hear that this individual that they called in on has been arrested, then they'll call us back. Mm-hmm. They'll ask if their information led to the arrest. All we have to do is pull up that case, and we can see immediately that their information was the information that led to the arrest of the suspect. And at that point, and we'll fast forward and say that, you know, it's already gone to the board of directors. We've already decided how much money we're going to pay. I then ask the individual, and this is the only time I'm going to get personal with them, where in Yavapai County do you live? Do you live in the Verde Valley? Do you live on the Prescott side of the mountain? Do you live more towards the valley, you know, maybe Black Canyon City? Do you live on the Highline area, Ash Fork, Seligman? Because I need to know where to send them to collect their reward. I'm going to send them to a bank, and we're going to pick out a bank. I will put the person, I'll tell the individual that it's entirely up to them. You want to get paid tomorrow, you want to get paid 2 weeks from tomorrow. What time of day do you want to go in? So we'll get all that figured out. Then I'll call the bank that's going to help us out on that particular case. I'll give the bank information on caller number 1234 is coming in tomorrow at noon. Who will they meet with? Well, they'll meet with the bank manager, Mr. Jones. I go back to my caller and say, okay, tomorrow at noon, you go to the bank, you ask for Mr. Jones. At noon the following day, Mr. Jones takes them into the back room. They say, what's your name? They say 1234, hands them an envelope with cash in it, and away they go. There's no receipts to sign, no checks to endorse.
It's not even a check, it's cash.
It's cash.
Oh.
Yep.
I guess you do say that, $500 cash.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we put emphasis on cash rewards.
Right.
So it's all cash. Do you want to claim it on your taxes? That's up to you.
Interesting. So the only time they show their face is when they go in the bank.
And they don't even have to go to the bank. They could ask a friend to go.
Okay, that's right. I guess whoever comes in.
Their wife to go down. It doesn't matter who goes in there as long as they have the pertinent information. 1234, and they're there at noon, and they ask for Mr. Jones.
Okay, that does keep it anonymous. Mm-hmm. I could send anybody I wanted to there.
Sure.
Anybody. Oh, okay. That works out great.
Now, I'm going to just guess that 9 times out of 10, the original caller's probably going to go in.
Sure.
But there have been times when I say, okay, I want you to go to the such and such bank in Cottonwood, and they'll say, you know, I trade at that bank. I don't want to go in there and do this in my bank.
They know me.
Exactly. We'll get another bank. Mm-hmm. Or you can drive over the hill to Prescott Valley, and we'll go to, you know, a bank over there. I am going to satisfy the caller at all measures. Mm-hmm. I have people call me sometimes from the Phoenix area, and we try very hard to make the payoffs down in the Phoenix. It's a little bit harder. In Yavapai County, all the banks are familiar with us. They know how we work. They know what our account numbers are and this sort of thing. So when we have to go to Phoenix, it's a little bit more difficult, but we try to make that happen just to facilitate our caller and make them happy.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you're asking people for help.
Exactly.
They give you help.
Exactly.
You don't want to make it hard for them now.
And when people call in and say, you know, how do I know that I'm remaining anonymous? Don't tell me your name. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. Don't say your name.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a break, okay?
Okay.
Yavapai Silent Witness Director Steve Scourgeon in studio today. Phase 34 of Catch 22 starts on June 1st. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Great to have you in studio today. We're talking Catch-22 with Yavapai Silent Witness Director Steve Skirja. Number is 1-800-932-3232. They've heard that number so many times, and you said 17 years, so it's been at least that long I've been talking about it. And then YavaPaiSW.com is another great place you can go to, and when Catch-22 starts, those felons are listed there. You have other stuff there, don't you? Have like a top 10 for Yavapai County and a few other things in there?
We do. We have, on our website, we have the most wanted from each agency. However, don't go on there and when you see that that an agency doesn't have any most wanted, that they don't have any crime in that area. It's just, it's been difficult to get the agencies to get on board with me and this sort of thing. But yeah, now the Sheriff's Office website has, I believe they have like the 10 most wanted for the Sheriff's Office, okay? But on our website, we have most wanted from DPS, Chino Valley, Prescott, et cetera.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Now, 17 years ago, I remember coming over and having lunch with you in Prescott. A bunch of media people came over there.
That was
when you were going to launch.
Kickoff.
We were going to kick off Catch-22. And the first one went really well.
It did.
A lot of people were caught.
9.
So almost half. I mean, we're getting close to half there.
Exactly.
But I remember on that first one specifically that there was a few people that were really close by. I mean, to the point where we announced their name, and within an hour or two after announcing their name, they were like at a construction site just around the corner, and they got picked up, which is not a bad thing. That's great.
No, yeah.
Because we didn't know they were there, but somebody knew that they were working there.
Exactly.
That has kind of changed a little bit over the years. It's not quite like that anymore.
Well, what happened, Paul, was that first one, we wanted to be successful.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we went to, and we still do this today, but I went to the Sheriff's Office and I said, give me all of your most high profile felons. Well, you know, they had a bank vault full of them.
Right.
And they gave me all of these warrants, and I have the pleasure of going through them and kind of deciding at that particular time which one we were going to take and which one we weren't. And I picked a lot of them that, but probably all 22 of them were real strong arrest possibilities. And like I said, we arrested 9. I didn't think it was going to be that easy because we paid we paid $4,500. And yes, they were all local. The ones that we picked from the Verde Valley still lived in the same house. The ones we picked from Prescott still lived at the same addresses that, I mean, the phone went off the hook.
Right.
We sat back and looked at this before we went to the second phase and said, you know, we need to make some changes. And what we decided to do at that point was We needed to make sure that everybody that had an outstanding warrant had their door knocked on at some time prior to putting their picture in the paper.
Gotcha.
Because these people, a lot of them are living at home. So let's do some good police work first. And then when we know that these people are absconders, they've left, they've moved, and even if they just moved down the street, they don't live there anymore. So, and we don't know where they live, so let's get some help from the public. And even the second one, we still arrested, 4 or 5. But then over the years, there have been phases of Catch-22 where we didn't arrest one person and we didn't hardly get any calls. Those are very discouraging. The last one, last December, we only arrested 1 individual.
Still, that's better than...
That's better than none.
Right.
Exactly. However, we did get several calls on some others. And we continue to get calls. The advertisements say that this reward is good for 90 days, but theoretically, if somebody calls me, 3 or 4 months out, I'm still going to pay a $500 reward because we're happy to get that call. We're happy to get that person off the street.
That is the goal.
Exactly.
Is to get the bad guy off the street.
And more than that is, it's our goal and our challenge to make the victims feel a little bit more at ease.
I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, there are the victims out there, the victims' families out there that are hoping some resolution comes of this.
Exactly, and of course, when we're talking about drug dealers, minor offenders, but it's still a felony. If it's not a crime against a person, then you really don't have a victim other than the state of Arizona. But when you have a rape suspect, maybe somebody has been assaulted, maybe you have a child molester, something like that. Now we're talking personal.
Physical harm.
Exactly. And when we can get somebody like that off the street, we're just elated. And
that's got to give the victim a sigh of relief.
Exactly. It really does.
That is the goal.
Sure.
So the first year we had 9.
First year we had 9.
Which was a booming year. I remember that one too, as a matter of fact, very clearly. It was really exciting to have the 9 captured.
Yeah.
And then give me some of the other years that we've had.
Well, right along with that, but like I said, we started in 1997. The second phase in 1997, we arrested 4. So we got 13 in 1 year, which was wonderful. The next phase, we arrested 9 again. And I think we were still in the learning phase of doing this. But then in 1998, we arrested 7. And then we had a couple years there that it was kind of slim. We arrested 3 and 3. And then we went for a couple years where we only arrested 1 each phase. And then, like I said, there were a couple years or a couple phases where we'd only got a couple calls and didn't arrest anybody. Then in 2002, we came back and arrested 6 in 1 phase. Then it got kind of slim again. 2005, we picked up 6 more people. And then it kind of dwindled down.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to take another break, okay? But the phone number people are going to want, starting June 1st through June 22nd, Catch-22 will kick off again. Phase 34 is 1-800-932-3232. YavaPiSW.com is a great website to go check out. Stick around. Countywide, we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a couple minutes left of the program. Again, website, yavapaiSW.com. Phone number, 1-800-932-3232. You never know. You might have some information about one of these guys or gals that we're going to mention.
Absolutely.
On Catch 22.
Absolutely. You need to watch. Go to the website, look at their photograph. You know, it might be your neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Now, is the next phase ready to go?
Yep.
Phase 34 is completed?
We're all ready to go, yes.
Oh, okay.
Now, over the years, we've arrested 71 felons through this program.
That's so great.
Now, what people have to keep in mind and go, well, you've been doing this for 17 years. That's not a real big deal. These are people, for the most part, that have left the area.
Right.
The last phase, we only arrested one person. He was living in Ohio. Okay, so if we wouldn't have advertised him, he would probably still be living in Ohio.
Just living life.
Exactly. So we've arrested 71 felons. We've paid out $35,500 in cash rewards.
Do you ever get a comment from anybody that says the person you're looking for in Catch 22 is no longer alive?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
because that's quite a life to be leading.
Exactly. But then what we have to do is we have to go back and search all of that information and make sure, because this could be the guy's wife.
Sure. Okay, right. I understand that. Yeah. You have to make sure that they actually are.
And we have to pull up records. we need a death certificate. And I get a lot of help from Yavapai County Jail. Now, speaking of Yavapai County, the people that answer the phone for Yavapai Silent Witness, besides myself, are the dispatchers for Yavapai County. And they pick up that phone 24/7 on the weekends, nights, and holidays when I'm not there. There's also a lady there by the name of Cindy Gilchrist, who is kind of like my secretary, but not. She answers the phone as well. And I just want to, give a shout out to those guys because they do an awesome job for us.
They do. Real quick, we've got about 45 seconds left. When I call you, I shouldn't be beating around the bush. I have to have certain information for you to make this a good call. What kind of information are you looking for? Obviously, an address.
We need an address. We need a full name. If somebody calls and says, Joe is doing drugs, where's Joe live? I'm not sure, over on Maple Street. It's not going to help us. And we're not even going to take that call. What we're going to do is we're going to ask you to do some more homework. At least get an address, a physical address on Joe. Get me a car. Get me a license number or a license plate number. Things like this.
Right.
Okay. Without that kind of information, we're not even going to talk to you.
Well, here's to phase 34.
Thank you very much.
It's a good one, right?
Appreciate it.
Number again, 1-800-932-3232, YavapaiSW.com. That's today's Countywide. We'll talk to you again next time.